Coming up on Spartan Sports Report, the men's basketball team competed in 2 huge conference games looking to stay undefeated in Big Ten play. MSU hockey hosted Minnesota in a top 5 matchup with the number 1 spot in the Big Ten standings on the line, and women's basketball looked to build on their win streak.
Welcome back in to the Spartan Newsroom for an all-new semester of Spartan Sports Report. I'm Olivia Klinsky.
And I'm Jack Stager. Olivia, MSU Winter Sports has started the new year off hot with 6 teams coming in the AP Top 25. We have definitely had a lot of action to start off the new year.
Absolutely, Jack. The Spartans have brought a lot of heat in this cold winter, so let's start out on the court with women's basketball, who have been on quite the hot streak. The number 21 ranked women's basketball team had 2 outings this week, starting on Wednesday, looking to maintain their undefeated home record against the Penn State Nittany Lions. MSU set the tone early in the first half. Here's Theron Halleck going coast to coast and driving for the layup to extend the Spartans' early lead. A buzzer beater layup from Nyla Hampton ended a dominant first half for Michigan State. In the second half, the threes were raining down as Julia Ayral and Jocelyn Tate both shot 75% from beyond the arc, and Tate recorded a career high in threes as the Spartans went on to secure the 82-61 win. Michigan State then headed to the Chrysler Center to take on number 24 Michigan in the rivalry's first ever matchup, with both teams being ranked. In the first half, the teams went back and forth. The Wolverines on top 33-29 at the break. Theron Halleck was held to just 2 points in the first half, but she got hot in the second, and so did MSU's offense. Halleck finished with 25 points, just 1 shy for a career high. Michigan State is one of the best teams at forcing turnovers for reasons like this. Back-to-back steals leading to fast break layups. They'd forced 19 turnovers on the game, and with 61 combined points from Halleck, Julia Ayral, and Grace Van Sluwen, MSU outscored Michigan 59-25 in the second half and prevailed to an 88-58 victory. The Spartans won their 5th straight game, and it marked the most points scored against Michigan since 1977. Jack, my dad wasn't even born yet. Michigan State improved to 17-3 on the year and 7-2 in Big Ten play and ascended all the way to number 17 in the AP poll. The Spartans will face Van Sluwen's former team as they host Oregon on Thursday.
Yeah, what a win streak the women's basketball team has been on, but the men's team has started the Big Ten playoff hot, and they had a big week before them as well with a top 20 battle at the Breslin. The team hosted then number 19 ranked Illinois for their 7th Big Ten matchup of the season. Freshman Will Riley for Illinois was all over the place. He had 16 first half points. He hasn't scored more than 16 since November 23rd. This game back and forth, 10 ties and 5 lead changes. But how about Cohen Carr getting this block to end the first half? And then in the second half, he is instant momentum, high flying 55. Going up top for Michigan State, and then down the stretch, it was Trey Holloman. He had a team-high 17 points in this one, and he put the game on ice. Bunch of big buckets down the stretch, and he would eventually ice the game. With these 2 game-winning free throws, Michigan State would overcome the Fighting Illini by just 2 points, winning 80-78. And Michigan State, their 11-game win streak, that's their longest since 2019. And the best way to come off a win at home is to travel to the world's most famous arena to face off against the Scarlet Knights. The number 8 Spartans came out strong, scoring the first points of the game, but for every made MSU bucket, Rutgers would return the favor. However, the Spartans had the advantage with 44 total rebounds, leading them to an 81-74 victory. And freshman guard Jace Richardson, he had a standout performance. 20 points off the bench, that's a career high for him, having success like his pops. The win kept the Spartans at number 1 in the Big Ten and brought them to 8-0 in conference play. Now newly ranked number 7 MSU will say goodbye to the Big Apple and come back home to East Lansing to battle against the newly revitalized Minnesota Golden Gophers tonight. They have won their last 3 straight.
Basketball over at Madison Square Garden, but wrestling was right here at Jennison Fieldhouse. It was a busy weekend there as the wrestling team hosted 2 Big Ten dual meets against 2 ranked opponents. Starting on Friday night against number 24 Indiana, where 149-pound wrestler Clayton Jones III was the only Spartan to score points for the team. Michigan State ended up losing 35-3, and it did not get any easier. On Sunday, Michigan State faced number 7 Nebraska. MSU had a lone spark at 157, with freshman Mason Stewart winning a thrilling sudden victory match, his first ever dual meet victory and his Big Ten debut for the Spartans. However, it was all Cornhuskers the rest of the day as they cruised to a 38-3 victory. MSU moved to 0-4 in Big Ten meets, and they'll try to rebound in a non-conference match against Clarion on Sunday.
This past weekend, the number 4 ranked MSU gymnastics team traveled to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan State opened the meet with a 49.100 on bars, and juniors Nikki Smith and Sage Kellerman both received a score of 9.850. In the second rotation, MSU stuck 4 of 6 vaults, which earned them a season high of 49.450. Senior Gabby Stephen won her first all-around title of the season with a score of 39.375, and MSU would secure the victory, earning a final score of 196.800, and the Spartans move to 5-1 overall and 2-0 in the Big Ten. They will travel to Los Angeles this weekend to face off against number 6 UCLA.
And another ranked team, MSU hockey, the number 2 team in the nation, hosted number 4 Minnesota at Munn Ice Arena this past weekend. Heading into the series, just 1 point separated these 2 teams for the top spot in the Big Ten standings. The Spartans earned 5 points from the first series against Minnesota earlier this season and would enter the weekend looking for even more. Friday night would be 60 minutes of total Spartan domination. MSU took control early, with forwards Tanner Kelly striking first. The Spartans have proven to be a second-period team, and that continued in this one. Both offenses absolutely exploded in the second period as they traded a total of 7 goals in the frame. After Spartan defenseman David Gucciardi scored his career-high second goal of the game, Minnesota goaltender Nathan Aries' night would end early, getting pulled for a backup Liam Soulier. The NCAA leading point scorer and Hobie Baker contender Isaac Howard netted 2 goals in the third period, boosting his case as one of the best players in the nation. Spartans closed game 1 out strong, nearly hitting double digits, but settling for a final score of 9-3. After the blowout in night 1, the Golden Gophers looking to stop the Spartans from sweeping, but Michigan State would get right back to scoring, with Matt Basgo blasting a slap shot past Soulier, getting his 5th of the season. In the next period, down a goal, Minnesota would have the second leading point scorer in the nation, Jimmy Snuggerud, tying the game with his first goal of the night. MSU would answer right back just a minute later. The teams continued to battle it out in the third, but the game would stay knotted at 3-3. 65 minutes wouldn't be enough, and the teams go into the shootout. Danny Russell slotted one, putting pressure on the Gophers, and Isaac Howard sealing the deal right here, crossing over, finding the top right of the net, giving MSU the extra point in the Big Ten standings. The Spartans come out of the weekend with 5 of 6 possible points, as well as 10 of the 12 total points they could have gotten against Minnesota. That is the best season series they've had against the Gophers since 1972-73. They'll go on to take on number 11 Ohio State this upcoming Thursday and Friday.
The women's tennis team had their home opener on Friday against Xavier. After taking the doubles point in 3 singles matches, the Spartans came out on top 4-3 for their first win of the season. MSU was then back in action on Sunday, taking on West Virginia to finish up the home opening weekend. Marking their 3rd time competing together this season, it would be the freshman-senior pair, Ellie Blackford and Lisa Velainen, to secure the doubles point for MSU. They would win the match 6-4. And then in singles play, Amara Brombaugh would be the first to finish for the Spartans, making quick work of her opponent, winning her sets 6-0 and 6-3. Redshirt sophomore Hannah Tidovitz soon followed with a dominant 6-0 and 6-2 win on court 6 to put the Spartans up 3-0. With 3 more Spartans taking wins on their courts, MSU clinched the victory 6-1 to round off a successful weekend. The Spartans will stay in East Lansing on Friday for a doubleheader against in-state competitors Western Michigan and Eastern Michigan.
Moving on to the men's tennis team, Saturday and Sunday, they headed to the Lone Star State for the ITA kickoff weekend. The Spartans first faced Liberty University and started with strong doubles victories from Ozan Barish and Aristoteles Thanos and Tame Alice May and Mitchell Sheldon. Max Sheldon, Thanos, and freshman Vuk Radijanovic secured singles points for Michigan State, MSU sweeping Liberty 4-0. Next up for the Spartans, reigning national champs TCU, where Matthew Forbes earned the only Spartan point in a singles match victory. What would be their first loss of the season, they'll hope to come back this Friday against Tennessee.
Over the weekend, both Michigan State men's and women's track and field traveled to Indianapolis to compete in the Crossroads of America Invitational. 3 Spartans walked away with a podium finish, and 5 Spartans set a new personal best in their event. Logan Allen found success finishing second in the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 8.02. He also finished 9th in the 60-meter run, just falling short of the finals. MSU track and field will travel to both South Bend and Louisville this week.
Thank you so much for watching this week's edition of Spartan Sports Report.
And for more content, check out the Spartan Newsroom website and all of our social medias right down below. I'm Jack Steger.
And I'm Olivia Klinsky. We'll see you next week.